In my marriage, being abused, it was emotionally terrible. I was called everything you could think of, and then also the physical abuse made me feel like I was not worth anything at all. The manipulation was probably the worst, because I thought that I had to stay and I didn't. Timothy, he's been impacted the most. He's seen more and felt more abuse than any child should have to ever face. He's going through a lot of similar things that I am. Eli is 3. He's rebounding a little bit faster, but he's still had some major work through counseling, and he's recovering. Peter, he's at the recovery state, but he has had a lot of yelling in my arms while I was being yelled at, and I think that has been a recovery. It's just harder to see since he's 1.
Trauma in early adulthood or early childhood is at the basis of a lot of the conditions that we treat, especially when it comes to anxiety disorders, post-traumatic stress disorders, depression. Basically, these conditions can lead to overactive adrenaline, overactive vigilance, and can lead to a lot of other different things that we treat here.
For me, it was very difficult to start school and having 2 kids and having one child that is not happy about it. For him, changes were very difficult to handle. He was mad at me. He was screaming, fighting with his sister, kicking, punching. He did whatever he had to do to get me into the fight.
There are crises that will occur. However, if we can get the right treatments to people as early as possible, we're hopefully preventing a lot of disability and a lot of family strife, and more importantly, a lot of strife for the individual. But rather, it's a better idea to recognize these thoughts as stressful and disruptive and in need of addressing in a medical way and in a therapeutic way.
I've seen so far therapy in my children helping them deal with their anger through simple techniques that I never would have thought of. My middle child always smells his flower when he thinks he's going to act out to his brother. And my oldest, he has taken a lot of things from therapy and used them when he feels angry or he feels sad or he doesn't think he can trust.
Our therapists show us how to de-escalate all the situations that we're going through and help me how to manage them and help him understanding why and how. And I started to notice that he was very interested in the piano, so it was like a challenge for him. Our therapist told me that I should push him to go to do piano to relax him. You know, now he's not getting like really mad because all the things that happened. He's just focusing on another good thing to explore.
I used to fight with my mom a lot, but I don't fight anymore because Mary Ellen helped me to control my behavior.
Children needing services at David Lawrence Center has increased by 20% in the last year, and we've increased our crisis calls to our suicide hotline by 30%. We've seen a 56% increase in our children's crisis stabilization unit. This is likely an indication of how difficult the pandemic has been on children, particularly teenagers, whose school and social lives have been turned upside down in the last 2 years. It's been hard enough on adults, and it's been brutal for adolescents. To address our most urgent needs, we are yet again having to expand our crisis stabilization units. To help us manage this crisis across the last year, we've added a new medical director. The good news is that we've seen an 80% reduction in readmission to our crisis stabilization unit after we've wrapped intensive case management support around people when they're being discharged. Donor support is critical. Florida is 50th out of 50 in funding for mental health. And we know that we can only achieve what we know to be the critical mission and vision of this organization and provide the prevention, intervention, and treatment for all in need, only possible through great friends and donors. It's really important for us to make sure that we raise awareness around these issues and decrease the stigma. So we're doing a number of different initiatives, including mental health first aid, where we're training people in the community, our Mind Your Mind campaign to help further educate those in the community, and things like you being here today to make sure that everybody that's in need can get linked to that support that's going to help change their lives.
To receive the help I've gotten from David Lawrence Center has meant everything, because we can take care of our physical health and all sorts of other things, but without mental health, none of that matters. So it's really meant a lot to me.
David Lawrence is a great place to go when you feel that life is not easy and you need help. They just helped me to understand that it was a problem that we have to fix as a family and as a group, and with love and patience, we could go through.